Dear learners, in this video we will be discussing about digital voltmeter. So we know the analog voltmeter we are using in our laboratory. It's basically a PMMC instrument in series with a resistor acting as a analog voltmeter. Now in this video we are going to discuss about digital voltmeter. So the objective of this video is to make you to understand what is digital voltmeter and what are the different types of digital voltmeter, right? The conceptually in this video we are going to cover two types of digital voltmeter. Basically, digital electronic voltmeter is an digital instrument to measure the unknown voltage and indicate as a digit in a digit, right? Something like this. This is one of the digital voltmeter. It will indicate the voltage by means of digits on it may be a 7-segment display, LED display or a LCD display, and anything we can construct. Okay. Now the idea is there are 4 different types of digital electronic voltmeter. 4 methods are there to construct. Based on that, 4 different types of digital voltmeter we can construct. They are linear ramp voltmeter, digital ramp voltmeter, successive approximation type voltmeter, and dual slope voltmeter. In this video I am planning to cover linear ramp voltmeter and digital ramp voltmeter. In the next video we can discuss about successive approximation voltmeter and dual slope voltmeter. So in a linear ramp type voltmeter, to understand the concept of linear ramp type voltmeter, let us consider this scenario, the example, real life example. So here what we have shown in this diagram is a physical balance with left pan and right pan and dial and pointer. Now this physical balance is basically used to measure the unknown mass, unknown weight. So in the left side pan, let the unknown weight is placed on the left side of the pan, and the right pan empty vessel is placed and water is made to flow into the empty vessel. The idea is in the right pan we are trying to place a variable mass, whereas in the left pan we have a standard mass, fixed mass, mass is fixed, unknown weight we have placed, the mass of the unknown weight is fixed, whereas in the right pan we are trying to place the variable mass. That meaning is we are placing the empty vessel and allowing the water from the tap to flow into the vessel. As the water level increases in the vessel, the mass of the water vessel will increase, right, with respect to time. That is the variable mass. Now using the balance, when we are trying to measure the time using a stopwatch, time taken to balance the unknown weight by this variable weight, right? The idea is starting from the empty vessel, right, and the time taken to balance the unknown weight is measured. So that is the concept. Okay. So assume that the water flow rate is constant, maybe m gram per second. Okay, so now in this setup, what we are going to measure is the time taken by the variable mass to become equal to the unknown weight. That time we are going to measure using a stopwatch. Okay, once we get the time, that time multiplied with the flow rate of the water m gram per second gives you the unknown weight. That is the idea. The procedure is, we have to start the stopwatch and open the tap together. Okay, initially empty vessel is placed on the right pan. Now we are going to open the tap. So at the time of opening the tap, stopwatch is on, right? Now we have opened the tap, and then we don't disturb the tap. The water is flowing with a constant flow rate m gram per second, and stopwatch is also running. As the water level increases in the empty vessel, at one point the mass of the right pan will increase. When the mass of a right pan becomes equal to the mass of the unknown weight, stop the watch and measure the time t. Right now, the unknown, our interest is to measure the unknown weight. So the unknown weight is the time taken t measured from the stopwatch into the flow rate m gram per second. Okay, so we know the measured time t is in second and flow rate is gram per second. Second cancel out, so we get gram. That is the unit of mass. So we get the mass. Okay, weight. So this is the idea, simple setup to measure the unknown weight, comparing the variable mass with the fixed mass. Okay, so in this example, if you understand this example, you will be able to easily understand the circuit. Now we are going to construct the electronic circuit analogous to this example. Okay, the idea is, let us try to construct the linear ramp type digital voltmeter circuit. So in the previous example, what we used is physical balance, okay, to compare the unknown weight with the variable mass. So in our electronic circuit, the equal to the physical balance, here we will have a comparator to compare the unknown voltage with the variable voltage with respect to time. Okay, so basically in this example, the physical balance is used to compare the unknown weight with the variable mass. So in an electronic circuit, we need a comparator. So operational amplifier, when op-amp put into the open loop, it acts as a comparator, compares the two input and gives the either positive or negative supply voltage at the output. That is the idea. So the comparator is an operational amplifier in open loop, compares the V1, V2. When V1 greater than V2, the output will be positive. V2 greater than V1, output will be negative supply voltage. Very simple. So in our electronic circuit, we are going to use a comparator instead of the physical balance in the example. Okay. So next, in the same example, we need a variable mass to put in the right pan. Okay. So in the left pan, we placed this fixed mass, unknown weight. So that is nothing but the unknown voltage what we are trying to measure in our example. In the right pan, we place the variable mass like this, empty vessel, and allowed the water to pass through it in a constant flow rate. So this setup, for this setup, equivalent electronic side, equivalent, we need a that means here the mass is, as the water level increases, mass is increases with respect to time. So here also we need a voltage increases with respect to time. So that is nothing but a slope. In x-axis time, y-axis voltage. This slope says that voltage is increasing with respect to time. So this is a ramp. So we need a circuit to generate this kind of ramp. Is nothing but the variable voltage with respect to time. So what we need is a ramp generator circuit. Okay, so we need a ramp generator circuit which is equal to the variable mass in the example, and we used this to a stopwatch to measure the time, to measure the unknown weight. So here in the electronic circuit we are going to have a setup to measure the time. This setup is equal to the stopwatch in this example. Okay, what the stopwatch was doing there, this setup will doing here in the electronic circuit, measures the time. Now using this setup, how can you measure the time? The idea is, we know the 2 input AND gate. In one input clock generator is connected, so it generates the clock pulse at a constant rate, frequency, and at the other input of the AND gate, gating pulse is given. So whenever the gating pulse is off, the AND gate is closed, output is 0. Whenever the gating pulse is high, that is on. Whenever the gating pulse is high, so the one input of AND gate is high, the other input will pass through the gate, right? And this clock pulse is permitted to pass through the gate and available at the output. Now the clock pulse coming out of the AND gate is counted by the counter. Number of pulses being counted by the counter. So once you get the count value, this count value divided by the frequency of the clock pulse is actually the time. Okay, so with this simple circuit we will be able to measure the time. It's a time measuring setup. Okay, now we can replace this example by means of electronic circuit. Construct the electronic circuit by assembling all these together. So we get the circuit like this. Okay, so we have a comparator to compare the unknown voltage with the variable voltage with respect to time, and the output of the comparator will be either high or low, positive supply voltage or negative supply voltage. So high or low. Whenever the comparator output is high, the clock pulse is permitted to pass through the gate, and it is given to the counter. And it is basically a negative edge triggered counter. That means in the incoming clock pulse, coming clock pulse from the AND gate, for every negative edge of the pulse, the counter will increment the count value to 1. Okay, initially the count value should be 0. For that we have to reset the counter. So counter have a reset input, so through which you have to reset the counter to make the counter initial value is 0, right? After that only the circuit should be on. Okay, now this is what the circuit of a linear ramp type voltmeter. Okay, now let us see how does it measures the unknown voltage. So the unknown voltage to be measured is given to the non-inverting input of the operation amplifier in open loop. So non-inverting input of the comparator, and ramp voltage is nothing but the variable voltage with respect to time. It is a ramp. So the ramp voltage is given to the negative input of the comparator. Now the comparator compares the unknown voltage and the ramp voltage and gives the either positive or negative output. See, at time t equal to 0, that is the beginning, at the beginning at time t equal to 0, t is in x-axis time, at t equal to 0, ramp voltage is 0, right? So at time t equal to 0, ramp voltage is 0, unknown voltage is some positive value, and reset the counter. At t equal to 0, counter is reset. Okay, reset and start the counter. Now what will happen? The comparator compares the some positive voltage, the value of the unknown voltage, with the at t equal to 0, comparator compares this voltage, unknown voltage, with 0 at the ramp. Ramp is 0 at t equal to 0, 0. So the output of the comparator will be positive, high, because unknown voltage is greater than the 0 voltage, right? Hence the output will be, initially the output will be high. So the one input of the AND gate is high. Hence the AND gate permits the clock pulse to pass through it, and at the output of the AND gate, clock pulse is coming. Now this clock pulse is given to the counter, clock input of the counter, and it is a negative edge triggered counter. For every negative edge of a pulse, it will count value will be incremented to 1. So initially the count value is 0. Now when one pulse is coming, the count value will be 1. When the other pulse comes, the count value will be 2, something like that. It will be keep on counting until the AND gate closes. Okay, so while the AND gate is open, pulse will be coming out of the gate and it will be counted. Okay, now the situation is at t equal to 0, ramp ramp voltage 0, unknown voltage is some positive value, comparator output is high, and pulse is passed through the AND gate and counter starts counting. Now as time increases, ramp voltage also keep on increasing with respect to time, right? And the counter will be keep on counting, until, see what happens when at time t1, at t equal to t1, the ramp voltage meets the unknown voltage, right? That is, whenever the increasing ramp voltage is equals to the unknown voltage, what happens? When the ramp voltage equals the unknown voltage, the comparator output will be 0, because when two input is 0, comparator output will be 0. Then one input of the AND gate is 0, then AND gate closes. That means the output, at the output of the AND gate, 0 is coming, pulse is not coming. Hence the counter stops counting because no pulse is coming out of the AND gate, right? So now the presently the counter, before counter stops, the count value is, it is stopped with some counter value, no count value. That count value divided by this clock frequency is the actual time t1. This is the t1. Okay, now we measured the time t1 and we know the ramp rate, nothing but slope rate. Ramp rate means the slope rate, voltage per second, voltage by time, V by second. So once you measure once you know the time t1, and when you know the ramp rate V volt per second, so when you multiply this, second cancel out, you get the VT1 voltage, that is the unknown voltage. Okay, so very simple. Once you know the time, the ramp rate is fixed, it is known, ramp rate is already known. Only thing we are measuring the time t1. How do we measure the time t1? Time t1 is nothing but the count value divided by clock frequency. Okay, that is time t1 is equal count value divided by the clock frequency. So you get T1. So once you get T1, multiply the T1 with ramp rate, you get the unknown voltage. So this is a simple method, theoretical idea to measure the unknown voltage. Okay. Now, to understand this concept with numerical problem, let us consider an example. So in a linear ramp type voltmeter, counter is driven by a 1 megahertz clock. That is, this clock pulse is a 1 megahertz pulse. Assume that the clock pulse, frequency of the clock pulse is 1 megahertz. Now, the value of counter is 400 at the end of the measurement. Okay. So at the end of the measurement, the count value is 400. Let the ramp rate is 5 millivolt per millisecond. Right. So the ramp rate is 5 millivolt per millisecond, means this is the ramp rate. The slope of this ramp is 5 millivolt per millisecond. Now what is the unknown voltage? So 3 parameter is known to us. We know the clock frequency 1 megahertz, and after the starting from the beginning of the at t equal to 0 to t1, at the end of the counting, we get the count value 400, and we know the ramp rate is fixed ramp rate is 5 millivolt per millisecond. Now what is the unknown voltage? The idea is very simple. First we have to calculate the time T1. Okay. So how do you measure the time? T1 is nothing but count value divided by frequency. So the count value is 400, clock frequency is 1 megahertz. Why T1 is count value divided by frequency? How this formula comes? It's very simple. We know that T equal to 1 by F. So this can be written as T1 equal to C into T. That's all. Simply we are actually counter have counted 400 pulses. Once one pulse time period T is nothing but 1 by F. So 400 pulse time period is nothing but 400 into 1 by F. Okay, that is the idea. So 400 into 1 by F. So that is 400 microsecond we are getting. Okay. So time is 400 microsecond. Now we know the T1. So the unknown voltage is nothing but time into ramp rate. So 400 microsecond into 5 millivolt per millisecond. So it's nothing but 2000 microvolt or 2 millivolt. Okay. So the unknown voltage is 2 millivolt. The idea is when you give a 2 millivolt, okay, connect when your unknown voltage is 2 millivolt and your ramp voltage is 5 millivolt per millisecond, and count. So initially unknown voltage is 2 millivolt is greater than, initially 2 millivolt is greater than 0 volt, right? So at t equal to 0, V is 0. So initially the unknown voltage is 2 millivolt. Initially ramp voltage is 0 volt. It starts to increase from 0. So initially 0 volt, the comparator output is positive, gate open. So the 1 megahertz pulse is coming here and counter starts to count, and it keep on counting, counter will be keep on counting until this ramp voltage becomes 2 millivolt. Okay. So when it becomes 2 millivolt, unknown voltage also 2 millivolt. So comparator output 0 and gate closes. Now look at the count value is 400. Now we get the count value 400. We know the frequency 1 megahertz. Frequency 1 megahertz means time period 1 by 1 megahertz, 1 microsecond. So 400 into 1 microsecond, 400 microsecond. That is the time. This 400 microsecond multiplied with this ramp rate 5 millivolt, we get 2 millivolt. That is the idea. 5 millivolt per millisecond. So the idea is good, simple. But there is a disadvantage in this method. The problem is, if either the ramp rate or the clock frequency is not perfect, that means if there is an error in the clock frequency or there is an error in the ramp rate, then the measured unknown voltage also will have some error. So the percentage of error, output voltage error, depends on the ramp rate error and the clock frequency error. So that is the risk in this method. So this particular problem is solved in the next type of voltmeter called digital ramp voltmeter. So in the digital ramp type voltmeter, the same method, linear ramp type voltmeter, is little modified. So what is the difference between this circuit and the previous circuit? The idea is, in the previous circuit, that is in the linear ramp type voltmeter, we compared the unknown voltage with the variable voltage with respect to time, known rate, slope. Okay, so simply we compared the fixed unknown voltage with the variable voltage with known slope rate. But instead, it's a open loop method. Okay, but we are closing the loop in the digital ramp type voltmeter. Idea is, instead of the ramp voltage, we are converting the digital output of the counter, converting the digital output into an analog voltage and compare with the input voltage. Okay, so that is the difference from the linear type voltmeter. Okay, anyway, to understand this method little better, let us again consider the example, the physical balance example. So in the earlier method, in the linear ramp type meter, we compared the unknown weight using a physical balance with the variable mass, unknown mass with the variable mass with respect to time. But here, instead of the variable mass, we are comparing the unknown mass with the standard mass. What is standard mass or standard weight? Is nothing but 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 5 kg. For example, let us consider, for example, 1 kg, 2 kg, something like that. These are the standard values. But in real life, standard value is 100 gram, 50 gram, 100 gram, 200 gram, 500 gram, 1 kg, 2 kg, something like that. But here we are not taking the real value. Let us consider the 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 5 kg, 6 kg, something like that, the standard successive weights. Now the idea is, instead of the variable mass, here we are comparing the unknown weight with the standard mass. Now I put the 1 kg in the right pan and look at the needle. If the needle goes the left pan side, then that means unknown weight is greater than the standard weight. Again I put the another weight, 2 kg, right? Now again I am looking at the needle on the dial, right? So whenever the dial comes to the 0 position, that is until the right pan equal to the left pan, I am keep on adding the weight. Once when becomes equal, I stop adding the weight, and now the weights on the right pan is the actual mass of it is equal to the mass of the unknown mass. That is the idea. Very simple. Okay. So instead of continuously varying mass, here we are comparing the unknown weight with the discrete varying mass. That is why it is called digital ramp. Earlier it was linear ramp, because on the right pan, as the water level increases, mass is continuously increases with respect to time. Here discrete increase in the mass. That means 1 kg suddenly increases to 2 kg, suddenly increases to 3 kg, something like that. Okay. Now come to the electronic circuit. So instead of balance we have a comparator, and instead of the time measurement we have a time measuring setup. Okay. The idea is, look at the diagram. The comparator compares the unknown voltage with the output of the digital to analog converter voltage, right? Now let us take the numerical example to understand this digital ramp type voltmeter. Assume that we have a 3-bit counter, right? So and also the 3-bit digital to analog converter, right? And the digital to analog converter is connected with the reference voltage, analog voltage, that gives the 0 volt when the digital input is all 0 0 0, and it gives 1 volt. DAC gives 1 volt when the input is 0 0 1, and 2 volt when input is 0 1 0, and so on. And when the input is all ones, the output is 6 volt. Okay, let us assume the resolution of the digital to analog converter is 1 volt. That means for every successive digital input increment, output analog increment is 1 volt. Okay, let us assume. Okay, now let us try to understand the working of this linear ramp voltmeter. Initially counter is reset, then counter output is 0 0 0. Okay, 0 0 0, 3-bit value, and it is given to the DAC. So the output of the DAC is 0 volt. Now this comparator compares this 0 volt with the unknown voltage. Assume that unknown voltage is 5 volt. Okay, now this 5 volt comparing with the 0 volt, 5 volt is greater, so it is given to the positive input. Then the comparator will be, output will be positive supply voltage, that is high. So comparator output is high, then gate is open. So the clock generator connected to the other input of the AND gate, the clock pulse passes through the AND gate and it is available at the counter. Counter counts the pulses. Now for every, this seems to be a positive edge triggered counter, then for every positive edge triggered is positive, every positive edge of the pulse is counting. Assume that one pulse is coming, so count value becomes 0 0 1, right? Now the DAC output is 1 volt. Now the comparator compares the 5 volt with 1 volt. Again the comparator output is high, and AND gate output is, AND gate is open, and pulse is passed through the counter, given to the counter. Next pulse is given to the counter. Count value becomes 0 1 0. So the DAC is 2 volt, incrementing to 2 volt. Now 5 volt is compared with 2 volt. The comparator output is again high, gate is open, and the pulse coming to the counter, next pulse coming to the counter. Count value becomes 0 1 1. So when the DAC output will be 3 volt. Okay, 3 volt. Now 5 volt is compared with 3 volt by comparator. Comparator output is high, gate open, and next pulse is given to the counter. Count value is 1 0 0. So the DAC output is 4 volt, and 4 volt, the comparator compares the 5 volt with 4 volt. Output is high, gate open, next pulse given to the counter, and now the count value is 1 0 1, 1 0 1. Hence the digital output is, DAC output is 5 volt. Now the DAC output is 5 volt, and comparator, the unknown voltage is also 5 volt. Now the comparator compares the 5 volt with 5 volt, the output is 0 volt. So the gate stops, gate closes, AND gate closes. So at the output of the AND gate, 0 only coming, no clock pulse is coming. So the clock pulse stops, so counter also stops counting. Now the counter output is counter output remains in 101. Okay, now this counter output taken out for the display purpose. So the 101 is the converted measured voltage, that is equal to 5 volt. Okay, so that is the idea. So this is how digital ramp voltmeter works. Okay, so what we discussed here is here with an example of 3-bit counter and DAC. So this concept can be extended to any number of bit. In the case of 8-bit digital ramp digital voltmeter, the counter initial value will be 8 bits, 8 zeros. Okay, and the maximum value may be 8 ones, that is nothing but 255, right? And suppose if your unknown voltage is 3 volt, the same concept you can extend. The comparator compares the 3 volt with the initial value 0 and output is positive, gate open. Okay, and the counter counts. Now the next count value is 0 0. In the 8-bit counter 8-bit count value is 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0. That means it depends on the resolution of the DAC. Okay, suppose in this example, if the resolution is 20 millivolt, for 1 LSB it will be 20 millivolt. For when the count value is 10, it will be 40 millivolt. For every succeeding input, it will be keep on incrementing to 20 millivolt. Okay, now what happens, it will be keep on incrementing when the count value 1001 0110, that is the DAC output will be 3000 millivolt, that is 3 volt. The comparator compares the unknown voltage 3 volt with the this DAC output 3 volt, stops counting. Now the output of this 1001 0110 is the digital output of the 3 volt. Okay, in 8-bit value. So similarly you can use any it depends on the, so as the number of bits increases and the resolution of the digital DAC also decreases, the accuracy of the meter digital voltmeter will increase. Okay, so that is the idea. So the advantage of this instrument is, even if the error in the ramp rate and clock frequency, it will not affect, because here the unknown voltage is not calculated with respect to the ramp rate and the time measurement. Here we are simply directly getting the unknown voltage from the counter output. So the counter output multiplied with the resolution is the unknown voltage, output voltage. Output voltage is directly the count value multiplied with the resolution of the DAC. So the problem with the linear ramp meter is rectified here. So it is an advantage. But this method have also some disadvantage. This voltmeter have also disadvantage. It is nothing but, if the frequency of the clock generator is 1 megahertz and if VA is 3 volt, the question is, the disadvantage is the time taken to convert this 3 volt into a digital bit. See, for example, if the clock frequency is 1 megahertz and unknown voltage is 3 volt, how much time taken by this instrument to give the output voltage? That is depends on the number of cycles required, clock cycles required. So the number of clock cycles required is the input voltage divided by the resolution. So our input voltage is 3 volt in this example. So resolution is a 20 millivolt. Then output, the number of cycles will be 3 volt divided by 20 millivolt, 150 cycles required. Okay. See, to measure the unknown voltage 3 volt, you need 150 clock cycles required. 150 clock cycles to be counted by the counter, and count value should be 150. Okay. So the time required maybe when you use the 1 megahertz clock frequency, time period is 1 microsecond. Then 150 microsecond is the time required to convert this 3 volt. Suppose with this same, in the same example, if the unknown voltage is 5 volt, you need 5 divided by 20 millivolt. Okay, so that will be maybe 250 microsecond. That means the time required to measure the unknown voltage increases as the input voltage increases. Unknown voltage increases. When the magnitude of the unknown voltage increases, the time required to measure also increases. That is the problem. That is the disadvantage in this method. Right? So that is the only disadvantage. So how to solve this problem? So this problem is rectified in the next method, successive approximation method. The time conversion, the time required to convert is reduced by a different kind of search method used in the successive approximation type. By that way the time is reduced. So that is the, but here it is a disadvantage. Okay, next video we will be discussing about successive approximation type voltmeter. Thank you.